Brothers and sisters, today is a brand new day. Let's get it.
Joy, peace, love, strength, no, you got it. Glow, bright, shine, slay, they can't stop it. Just like Irish oil.
Family! Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of The Purpose Experience. Are you walking in purpose? Today is another day to live out my purpose and to give it 120%. Come on, say it again for the people in the back. Today is another day to live out my purpose and to give it 120%. How are you feeling today? I hope you're feeling amazing. Before it started, I literally just said to myself, there's not enough time in the day. There just isn't. I was also thinking I should add a countdown to when we start. That way everybody can get ready and get moving. But how are you feeling? Go ahead, head on to the chat. What are you grateful for today? What has you grateful for today? I am grateful for another morning of 5 a.m. prayer. It was awesome. Grateful for, I'm grateful for going to bed at a decent time and getting the right amount of sleep to get up at 5 a.m. for prayer, then to be able to work out, get breakfast ready, and then join you guys. But still, I was thinking there's so much I still have to do. But I am excited for today. I hope that you have a good, fun, filled, packed day today. Let's go ahead to our announcements, and it's only one. And I hope that you can join us. Check this out.
Welcome to Self-Care Sound Mind, the podcast and live series. Welcome back to Season 2, where my first guest is Levante Dorsey of Levante Dorsey & Associates. Stay tuned for a very special announcement.
So yes, that is right. I will be joining the lovely Miss Kiara Moore, a fellow therapist, and we're going to talk about that transition back to school, where our students are mental health wise, what can be for our parents, our teachers, all of that. So if you're free this Friday, it'll be live on Facebook and YouTube. And I posted that in my stories already, so you can go ahead and check it out. So for today, I'm going to tell you the story. For the 5 a.m. prayer, I've been in expectancy for God to send me the word that he would have us to focus on. So yesterday is towards the end of the day, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he ain't tell me nothing. I don't know what we finna talk about tomorrow. And obedience came to my mind. So I hit up the people who were on the prayer line yesterday morning, like, whoa, is y'all tired? Because I'm sleepy. And I said, and if the Lord sends you a word, let me know. So remember, obedience is going through my head. And then I text Toya, our usual guest on here, and she said, well, ever since we met yesterday, I felt like, good morning, Miss Lashia. She said, I felt like obedience was in my spirit. I said, Lord, you got to stop showing up and showing out. So I'm already excited because there's nothing like having the connection and relationship with God to hear his voice. And again, the purpose experience, if you're new to this, it's about tackling different life issues and topics. But I only speak from experience on what I know. So of course I'm going to add God in there because, that's my homie right there, Good morning, Doretha. Good morning, Toya. So let's go ahead. Where did my obedience picture go? Oh goodness, I didn't put it on here, but I did remember to put the So obedience is the key that unlocks God's promises. Obedience is the key that unlocks God's promises. And sometimes you feel alone because you're relying upon the wrong things. God is trying to get your attention, right? And we're really gonna hone into there. So I got to thinking. So one, we want to be obedient, and the topic for today is obedience will open the door. Obedience will open the door to so many areas in your life. And I got to thinking about this part right here. So when we're obedient and we're following in the will of God, like I said, the blessings will come. And it says sometimes you feel alone, as in, where are you, God? Why aren't aren't you showing up? I need help in this area. I need help with this. Because you're relying upon the wrong things. God is trying to get your attention. So I thought about how they tell us to have the faith as small as a mustard seed and those things we want to believe in. But I don't know about you, but sometimes when it comes to the faith part and just wholeheartedly believing in God, sis be struggling, okay? I'll be like, well, maybe he wants me to do this, or maybe he's a little busy right now, so he need me to step in and do this part. But I thought about how instinctively we rely on certain things in life, right? So look at this right here. Good old toothbrush, right? What do we rely on the toothbrush to do? Well, hopefully you rely. Let me stop. Hopefully you rely on it every morning throughout the day to help get your mouth nice and fresh, get that plaque off your teeth. You know, you use flossers. You trust that the toothbrush is going to get the job done. And then I thought of a chair. We plop down on that thing without even a second thought, right? Relying and trusting without a doubt that that chair is going to do what it's supposed to do and hold us up. So I thought about if we can put that much faith and belief in toothbrushes and chairs and our hands and our legs and our feet, shouldn't that be about the same about reliance and walking in obedience that we give to God? Does that make sense? So whereas you don't have a second thought about how that chair is going to support you, we want to transform and begin to have that mindset of not having a second thought about how God is going to support us in our daily lives. So again, we have these worries, we have these troubles, we have these burdens, we have these situations, we have these relationships, we have these decisions to make, and we try to do it all on our own versus just instinctively saying, well, God got that. Like, I know it's just going to all line up without me even having to do extra maneuvering. And at times, you know, we rely on the wrong people now. Oh, no, I don't want to push no buttons, but you're relying on somebody to do something, and each time they have failed you, but each time you keep going back because you think, well, they all I got in this life. They're my only support. The same way you sit in that chair, you better rely on God that same way. Good morning, Miss Dickerson. She said, obedience is the highest form of worship. Come on, Maja. Amen. Maja, we said a prayer this morning. Please keep me updated for your dad. If anyone, keep Mr. Jim in your prayers today. So when it comes to that obedience and that trust and relying on God, we have to do that. So in doing my research, on the topic, he wants us to have obedience in certain areas, right? Doretha said, yes, my self-talk at times. Get it together, Doretha. God has never steered you wrong before. Come on now. We are walking in victory in this season. So let's go through the areas that he wants us to have obedience. He wants us to have obedience with our work. Now, come on, because I know I've been there before where I'm on the job and I'm like, I am so over this. I'm complaining about what I don't like, why I don't want to be here, why I want a new position. But he's even saying in that time when you're ready to move, he's going to open the door for you, but he wants you to understand that even though you're feeling not totally aligned, he has you there for a reason. You don't know what your presence there is changing for someone, what it's teaching you, anything. So even when we're on the job and we're like, put my 2 weeks in, he doesn't want us to complain. He still wants us to give praise and glory and be grateful, because even in that, there is definitely a purpose. He also wants us to have obedience with our minds, purify our thoughts. You know, I had to, he got me straight this morning because I had a little petty thought. I was being petty. I'm going to be honest. I was being petty because I feel at times people should learn lessons, and we don't always have to go above and beyond to do for people that won't do for themselves. But the Lord said, nope, don't you do that. You go ahead and do for them, and I'll reward you. I said, oh, goodness. So he wants us to purify our thoughts. He doesn't want us involved in that gossip. He don't even, and this one, I'm going to have to talk to him about it, because when it comes to what we put into our minds, our reality TV shows, the gossip stuff, he don't even really want that for us. And I'm like, come on, God. I love watching the Housewives and all of that stuff. But He wants us to have our minds purified because one, when we have all those distractions off, we can be peaceful and we're focusing on our prayer time and conversation with him. Goodness gracious. And then he wants obedience with our hearts. And that could be hard, but why do we sing the song, Give Me a Clean Heart? Why does he want us to be pure within? Toya, don't be laughing at me. I'm serious. What he wants us to have obedience within our hearts. I know sometimes we can be stubborn and sometimes our heart is so broken and hurt from things in the past that we're like, well, if I got to protect it, I got to do things my way. But he's saying, no, turn towards my way. Turn towards my word. Trust in what I do. And what was cool when I was studying, now y'all know I ain't no Bible scholar, but I can give y'all little references. He talked about Enoch and he talked about just Noah's obedience. You know, he was about to tear the whole land up, but he told Noah, do this, gather these two of a kind onto the boat. Imagine if he wasn't obedient, right? But it was because of their relationship with him, and Enoch, he lived long and was in fellowship with God for a long time because of his obedience with him, because of his communication and relationship with him. See, y'all ain't know I knew all that. I mean, I ain't a scholar, but I'm gonna give it to you. But if they could do that then, imagine the relationship he wants to have with us now. Then he said, and this one took me too, obedience with our goals. So in doing that, because y'all know I do the checklist. I tell y'all to do the checklist. We have goals for the future, walking in our purpose. But even when we make those goals, what do we make sure we check with him? God, is this what you would have for me to do? And if he kind of gives you the signs to say no, are you okay with releasing that goal and trusting, relying on him, just like you do that good chair, that if this isn't what he has for me now, I know he's going to open another door or show me another goal that he would have me to go towards. Maja said, he is present at all times and always. So why not have him in mind at all times and always? Come on now. Hey, right. I like that. So even in our goals, when we're making those goals, pray on them. Ask him for guidance. Ask him, is this what you would have for me? There was a line I heard, but I can't think of it. Oh, it was like a prayer. She was like, you know what your will is for me, so have it be done. Oh, goodness. It's just awesome. And then the next one was obedience with our talents. Some of y'all is sitting on some amazing talents, just letting it stay to yourself when he wants you to be out there giving it to the world. And I don't know if it's because someone told you weren't really good at it. I don't know if you just taking a chill pill, but get up. It is time to show and share your talents that he has blessed you with the world. Why are you being selfish and holding them to yourself? It is time to let loose and allow people to see whatever it is, that talent that you know is within you. Let God see it. I'm going to just head out now. No, Toya, you stay here, honey. He also, this is our second to last one. He wants us to be obedient with our finances. Now, we talked about restoration in that area of finances and wealth yesterday, but how are you using your finances? How are you using it to help others? How are you using it for your tithes? Whatever. We got to be obedient and listen to where God will have us to put those. And in our prayer this morning with our discussion questions, darn it, I should have put those on here. We considered in what areas are you not, my laptop's over there, in what areas do you feel you're not being obedient towards God? And in what area are you holding on to something that you need to release to God, but you're kind of being disobedient right now? So something for you to consider. And then lastly, he wants us to be obedient with our body. Now, this was a good point, and this is for everyone where you're struggling with getting up, working out, you're struggling with getting healthy. He gave us this body as a vessel so that we can, share our talents, so we can be here to have, communication with him, to do the work he would have us to do, to be in those careers, to have the minds. But if we're not taking care of the vessel the best we can, ouch to myself, He wants us to be obedient in that area. So today, when you want to pick up that Oreo cookie like myself, when you want to eat that pie or that juicy burger, think about, am I being obedient to God? Am I fueling my body with what is best healthy for me? I know y'all ain't think it was that deep, but it is that deep. Because if we aren't here, if we aren't fueling our bodies and keeping them healthy, and my trainer, he would just be doing a victory lap right now. If we aren't doing that, we are not in obedience with what God's will is for us. And remember, when we are obedient in these areas with our work, our mind, our hearts, our goals, our talents, our finances, and our bodies, obedience will definitely open the door to those blessings, everything that you are waiting for the Lord to give upon you. And let's put that quote up again. Obedience is the key that unlocks God's promises. Come on now. Come on now. Are y'all with me? Do you get it? Share this out because y'all know somebody needs to hear it. And before we go, I did find, it's a little tiny. I'll make sure to post it. These are scriptures that focus on obedience, right? So you can actually do a whole writing plan, focus on studying those words, and then having obedience. And oh, there we go, Toya. Toya wrote the questions. Toya, what, you took a picture? How did you have all that? There we go. Toya said our discussion questions from 5 a.m. prayer were, how current are you in your obedience to God? Is there anything on a waiting list? Woo, y'all done put them on a waiting list. What is one thing you're really struggling to trust God with? Oh, excellent question. For me, it's my worries and my stress. How could you give that part of your heart to Him? And what hard things are happening to you that could be an opportunity to grow closer to God? So actually, I want y'all to make sure you write those down. Get out your prayer journal. And make sure that you go through and answer those questions. Remember, it's important to set aside some quiet time to spend with Him in conversation and answer those questions because we are in our season of restoration and transformation and restoring. So come on now. Maja said, got me thinking and wondering where I'm slacking, right? And you can ask Him to let you know. All right. So he said, ooh, I like this. My notebook you told me to have, I wrote them down. Oh, aren't you awesome? All that work at 5 a.m. So I love you guys. Have a magnificent day. I will see you tomorrow. Pray that I can be silent and hear from the Lord what He wants us to just continue to go over and pour into. Have a wonderful day. Love on somebody. Bye, guys.